Hello everybody, Michael is here and today I'm going to walk you through this, sort of exercise where we set up the Vite builder together with the development environment with linters, and we put a example project with HTML, CSS and JavaScript into it, and we just show how the intention is to work with Vite in this type of structure. So, behind me here, you can see that I already have this example repo available here. So I think I have it all down here, and this is sort of the structure of it. So this is how it looks like when you are already done with this exercise. This is now we can go on and work. So we can slightly just see how the intention is to work with it before we proceed and do this step by step, and I will show you how to set up this repository from a Scratch directory on your own. The basic idea with this is to put all our source code into the source directory. So we have it here. We have sort of I have already put my example here. It is the dice game. You may have seen it, dice game 21, and it's split up in a style sheet. It has an index.html as its main point. It has a main program in Java, and it has two different modules. So that is sort of the example JavaScript web application that we are working with. And when we are in sort of working mode here, we usually start the npm run dev. So this is the development environment that Vite, the builder, is sort of providing to us. Oops, I haven't sort of installed it. So maybe I should do that first. So let's do npm install, and this sort of environment consists of a lot of both Vite, but I have also added a few linters for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, JavaScript docs, and so on. So helpful tools when you working in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript like this. So let's try once more. So npm run dev, and there we go. So we have here localhost 5173. So I think I'm gonna try to copy that, and I'm going to go to my browser. Here I have an old dice game. So let's remove this with this version. Looks more or less the same. So now I'm going to sort of run the whole game in the Vite build development environment. So the game is just sort of a small dice game. I'm gonna stop and let the controller win. The player wins. So fine, okay, good. And so what Vite does for us here is to manage all the code in the source directory, and makes it possible to sort of live reload it also when we are working with it. So it shows if we make any changes directly in the files, and the builder will the development environment will build it up and show it in the web browser. Yeah, like live reloading. Okay, that is good. Good. When we then are done with it, we can use Vite to create the distribution of this. So when we are run, let's see what scripts we have here. Oh, we have a lot of scripts here. So HTML hint, style lint, fix, ESLint with fix, JS doc, all the linters. Okay, so that is the linter tools that you should be acquainted to in another video. Then we have the Vite dev environment that I showed you there. Now we're going to do build and serve. And then we have just two utilities to clean up the repository also. So build and serve. So let's remove this and go with run build. So what happens now is that Vite is going to prepare a distribution directory for our code. So it will sort of make our code the most efficient way that Vite thinks it should look like. And it will put all the code into the distribution directory. And here we can see that the distribution directory now contains an index.html, and then it contains assets. And that is sort of a bit common when you use builders to generate distribution code or production code. And it will create assets for like images, JavaScript, style sheets, and so on. And if we want to preview this distribution, we can do it with run a serve, and Vite has a built-in, and the port is 4173. Well, I can try to take a copy of that, and then I go to my browser, open up a new, there we go. And there we have sort of the same game. Yeah, we don't have to play it around like that. It's just sort of now all the code is served from the distribution code. Okay, let me think on what we should do now. Hang on. Okay, I think we're going to take this from the beginning on how to set up an environment like this. So that is the basic idea of this exercise, is to go through all the steps so you get acquainted to it and you learn how to create your own environment, and maybe also you get some knowledge on how such an environment is sort of working, what type of tools are in it. Okay, so to be able to do this, I think I need to create a empty directory. So make dir demo, and I'm going to go into demo, and this is going to be sort of my start. And I'm going to go rather quickly through here. Maybe I could do like this. So if I just open up a text editor there, maybe I could work from that and show you how this could sort of be set up. I now have an empty directory. I need to have a terminal, like need to have a terminal. I want to have my Ubuntu terminal like that. And let's go up to the top. And let's start with this. Maybe I could also just set my prompt here. Just give me 1 small minute to change my prompt so it doesn't take up too much space when we do this. Okay, so here we go. We have an empty directory, and we're gonna make this a JavaScript working environment, HTML, and we're going to use the Vite builder, and we're going to do it with some linters also. The first thing I need to set up is just to have a there we go. Oops. There we go. So we have a package.json created for us, and now I'm going to go ahead and install all the linters. So these are the linters that we got from an JavaScript development environment. Talked about that in another video. And I just want to sort of in with them. Yeah. And these also have a lot of, or some configuration files that I want to have here. So I'm going to download them using curl or vget, whatever you have on your terminal. So there we go. All these files are there. I can just sort of check them that they are really there. And yes, so we got an editor config, we got config for ESLint, a git ignore, for ESDoc, and for styling. So these are all linters, development environment, help me write JavaScript code faster. I also need to add the script part. So it is this script part that I need to add into the package.json. So I need to go down there and open up the package.json, and somewhere here, perhaps I'm just gonna add it at the bottom there. So there, and I'm gonna add a comma there and something like that. Something like this, I think. Okay, so now I have the scripts. I can save it. Duplicate object key. Ooh, it's up here also. Thank you. You know what? I'm going to remove this part. There, away it goes. It's fine to have only my part there. Okay, so I'm going to save that. So now I have all the scripts set up in the package.json, and I guess I can do the npm run, and I can see that all scripts are there available for me. Excellent. And now I can move on to the core part actually of this exercise then, and that is to install the Vite environment. So I can do it like that, just add it as a development tool, and I need to create a vite config.js file. Okay, so let's do that. So this is the configuration file that Vite is going to be using. So let's add it up like that, I think. So I'm just going to save it like that. Okay, save. And as you see here, my thought is that we work from the source directory. So all the source code for this application is in the source directory. And that is what I have written in the configuration file. So let's go ahead with that. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna fix that with the linters later on, so I don't really care about a lot about the formatting. So here we have a few additional scripts then for the Vite. So this goes into the package.json script part. I can add them. Let's just add them at the bottom, perhaps like that. And then I need to add a comma there. And we have it all here. Seems to be good. Okay, good. So if I want to sort of run and execute all this now, I need to have some type of entry document in the source directory. So if I would create an index.html here and just put some data into it and save it, so that should do it. So now we have a directory structure here, and I guess we are all set up. So this is the development environment that we need. And if we then want to sort of npm run dev to run the development environment, we see 5173, and that is what I have there. Hello World Vite, and I can go in updated, something like that, and save, and the web page will be updated. Okay, nice. And then I can generate the distribution directory. So npm run build like that. So now I will build a directory, and it will soon be updated here. I can look here in the dist directory there. So this dist directory contains only an index.html for the time being. But now I can also then run serve, so I can try it out. Try it live 4174, and I think I have it here 4174. So I'm gonna reload that part. 4174. Ooh, it's in use. Trying another one. Okay, yay. So it's not the same there. So this is 41. 174. We go. Okay, so that is how Vite is working. That is how we set up the development environment. And you know what? I'm going to do this one more time, and I'm going to do it sort of rather quickly. So let's see. I'm going to do it one more time because I have a fast track on how to set up a development environment like this. Okay, so we have set up Vite with the development tools, and I think I'm going to do it once more and just a bit more quick. Because at the bottom of this exercise, I did put together all the commands that you actually need to do to sort of set up this. So I'm going to do it once more quick. So first, start a new directory. So I'm just going to call it app. So this is my app directory. And then I will sort of make the source dir, make dir source. Okay, so there is where my source files go. Then I use npm to set up this directory as an npm directory and install all the development environment, both the linters and including Vite. You can see all the tools I installed there as the development environment. So let's see what we have here. Ooh, okay, we have a lot of node modules, but if I exclude them like this, if I exclude the node modules, we only have the package and the source file for that. Okay, so all the npm in there. Then I need to get the configuration files. So I'm going to use curl to do it. I'm just going to paste it into my my terminal, and there we go. And we can see list the files -a for the dot files also. So then we have all the linters and Vite with the important configuration files. And the only part that I'm missing now, that would be to get the script part into my package.json. And maybe I should open up a text editor to do that. I can do it like this. I'm going to go into package.json. And I'm going to add the script part down there. And yes, it was a script part up there. So I'm going to remove that. And I'm going to save it. And basically, if I go in here and do an npm run, I can see that all the scripts and everything is available, and I can just go ahead and create my first index.html and go ahead and work with this environment. Okay, so that was the basic shortcut. It's a lot of things, but on the other hand, it is a lot of tools that we are setting up: HTML hint, style lint, ESLint with some configurations, and JSDoc, and Vite. So of course it takes some time, but this is a way to scaffold setting up your development environment. Okay, so is there anything more to mention? Yeah, I think I would mention the difference on the source files and the distribution code that Vite generates for us. So maybe we should have a look on that. So I think I need to have the, not that one. I think I'm going to go back to the original repository where I was working. And did I have an, yep, here I got my sort of my Visual Studio Code is up here and running. So I just want to show you a bit about this, quick about this example, so its code structure. So we have here, just gonna remove that there. So we have the source directory where we have the style. It just looks like this. Then we have an image that is a favicon, and then we have the JavaScript files that are separated into a main program, and then we have a dice module, and we have a player module. So this is an application divided into several files, and that is a easy way to work with the source code. Here is the index.html, and we also see that we include the main JavaScript file there. We include the favicon there and the style sheet there. Good. So let's see, because it is a bit interesting on how this code is getting generated into the build or distribution directory. So let's just npm run build. So that is what generates, takes all the source code and bundle it into the distribution directory. And then we do npm run serve. So we set up this on 4173. So let's see if we have 4173 there. So there we have the dice game. So now this is the bundle distribution. And it could be fun to look. So in the source code there for the HTML, so nothing strange there. Oops, yeah, look there. So that is something strange. So it actually took the image and bundle it into HTML as a base 64 encoded image. Okay, so it doesn't sort of point out the image to be included. So this makes one less sort of HTTP request to build up this page. Then we can see here that it has changed the name. It has put the JavaScript on top into one file, and also the CSS on top into one file. And if we look on these files, we can see that the style sheet here is sort of minified. All comments away, all spaces away, all new lines away. And we can also go into the JavaScript file, and we can see that all the JavaScript we had from the main and from two different modules are included in one long line of JavaScript code. So this is the way that this is the way how the code is bundled. We can also see the same here if we go to show the source code. There is the image. Oops, nothing happened when I clicked there. We can see the style sheet. Okay, yes, what I expected. And then we can see the assets for the JavaScript. So here we see all the JavaScript, and let me just copy that. So you see it looks a bit strange, this minified bundled JavaScript, take all the source and wrap it in together in one single file for efficiency. But how does this code actually look? If we try to find a JavaScript beautifier, could I spell that correctly? Let's see if we can find one. And then we copy that code in here. And beautiful. Oh, there we go. So here we get. Let's see if we can just make it a bit larger also. So here we have a JavaScript beautifier. So here we see how the JavaScript code is actually sort of optimized by the builder and put into one single file. And we see here an anonymous immediate executed function we have there. Usually started with a parenthesis like that. And then we see code that we did not create. So somehow this code is added by the bundler. And then we go down here and expect to see the classes. And then we see classes, but they have sort of this is the row lost graphical. So this is the dist class, but the bundler has minified it and optimized it. And here is the player class. We can see the methods, but the code looks much more dense, compressed. So this is the way the bundler creates or generates the optimized JavaScript code. And down here we see the main part, and maybe you can see down there, that was the part where I was writing my who is the winner. So it was an else if statement, and now it looks like this, optimized with a sort of a the ternary if statement there, the short if statement. So this is just nice to know how the builder generates the distribution code also. Let me just think. I think this was all. So this is in general the way that we are working with larger JavaScript projects like this. So both for development work and for sort of preparing for a production site. And so Vite is just a tool for that. And I think this I guess this is enough. It was a short introduction, well, at least an introduction to the Vite builder, how it works, and how we can run our set of linters together with it. Okay, thanks for now. See you another day. Bye-bye.